Namaste. Let us try and understand how to give presentations, be it in class or for corporate purposes or for any audience. The art of presentations is really important. The first question to ask is, who is my audience? Is it my internal people or is it external people? When I say internal people, is it the people in my organization or people outside the organization? And is it a multiple audience? Now let us call this audience understanding and audience segmentation in one way. We can segment the audience based on many considerations. First, as I said, internal or external. Multiple audience. The second is whether they are all similar in background, age, gender, or other considerations like are they all from rural areas or urban areas? Do they belong to the same category of people or they are different? Just in case they are different, they are called as diverse audience. Well, there's one more kind of consideration of audience segmentation. This is called as high-tech audience or low-tech audience or lay audience. High-tech audience are people who understand technical terms that I'm trying to explain. For instance, if I say, pass me the JPEG file and the PDF file and all the files in Excel format. Now, people who do not understand these terms, do not understand what technology is and what technical terms are. They are low-tech audience. But people who understand the engineering language or the technical language or in simple terms, the language that you're trying to explain to them in technical terms are called as high-tech audience. So we must understand whether they are high-tech, low-tech or simple lay people. If I am trying to talk to illiterate people, they are lay audience. They don't understand either technology or high-tech terms. So the question is, do they know the terminology we use? As I said, one consideration is what's their professional background and their personal background. Are they from rural areas? Do they speak English? Or are they corporate professionals and they have a different kind of background? Depending on this, again, we can segment our audiences. What is the message that I want to give via my presentation? Some important components. The most important thing is, what's the big message? What is the focus of my presentation? Secondly, how engaging is the intro? Then, have I structured my presentation properly? Does it have point-wise presentation structure? Of course, I'm also talking about the body or the script. So we should divide point-wise the script in meaningful context. For instance, I cannot say something which has to be put in the end. I cannot say it in the beginning. I have to divide it nicely. And what are the audio-visual aids that I'm going to use? Let us see how to begin a presentation. There could be umpteen ways to it, yet we can look at some. So how do we start? We can create some suspense in the beginning. Maybe we can begin with a story or a narration. Well, the suspense also can be created with the help of a question. And we have to ask a question in the beginning. And then connect the audience with the audience with that question when they answer or when they reply to that question. We can show a video clip and then connect my topic to that video clip, or we can share a joke and we can engage the audience with that joke. And then tell the audience, after having done one of these or two of these, tell the audience what is the topic of the presentation for the day. So start with asking a question or save your self-introduction after you have asked a question. So first the question and then self-introduction. Remember, when we introduce ourselves, do not say myself. Say, I am so and so from so and so department. Of course, let's go to some basics again. When we devise the presentation, we should use a lot of examples to prove a point. So if I'm talking about the rains in India this year, we can add examples like what happened because of the havoc played by rains. Maybe in Karnataka, maybe in Tamil Nadu, maybe in Kerala. Then let's not forget body language basics. Make sufficient eye contact with the audience. Maintain a good and powerful posture. Do not keep moving from one place to another place. Smile profusely. A smile is something that's going to win hearts. And of course, use the variation formula for voice. We know what is that. Do not forget greeting the audience. Before we begin, say a very emphatic good morning or good afternoon. Mannerisms and etiquette are very important. Do not forget to greet the audience and add humor to make it interesting. Try to tell a joke. Here we come to the importance of speaking. Speak clearly. Of course, diction is important. Practice, practice, practice. For speaking clearly, the rule is if we have to give a 1 hour presentation, we must practice at least for 8 hours. That is the rule. It's going to help us. Secondly, let us practice pronunciations and sounds properly because otherwise the audience is going to lose interest. Let's use punctuations while we speak. Friends, to summarize punctuations, what we had seen in the other section, it's the art and skill of stopping at commas, at full stops, going fast sometimes, and adding variations. After having done all this, the most important thing is to bring it to a good conclusion. How should we conclude a presentation? We cannot leave the audience high and dry without a conclusion. We have to add some good example or some good conclusion. Clarity really matters. There are many other ways of winning over the audience via a good presentation. In this series, let us stay here. Have a good presentation schedule ahead of you and practice, practice, practice. Thank you.